We are.
4, 3.
We are with Dr. Bill Kapralos, PhD, Assistant Professor, Game Development and Entrepreneurship Program from the University of Ontario Institute of Technology, Canada, who is a special guest of the Education Symposium and Advanced of the Pontificia Bolivariana University. Dr. Kapralos, welcome to our college. It's such an honor to have you here with us. So, well, Doctor, one of your research projects is the Serious Games. Tell us about that project. When and where did it burn? How was the process?
So, gracias. And first of all, I'd like to extend my thank you to everyone at the UPB for, first of all, inviting me here, and then the FCB as well. Very pleasant. It's always a pleasure to visit Bucaramanga. It's my third time here, and it's always fun, and it's always exciting to see the students and to see all the projects and all the good work that's going on here. So my work with serious gaming began about 4 or 5 years ago. My background is computer science, and I've done a lot of work with virtual reality. But recently, there's this large, the gaming phenomena that I like to call, where video games are very popular, and kids are playing video games, and not only kids actually. Everyone is playing games. The average age of a gamer is 37 years old. So this has led to the new, the application of video games to education and training. And what you're trying to do is capture the engaging and the fun aspects and incorporate that into a learning environment. So why can't learning be fun? And it should be fun. We play games. Games have been around for thousands of years, and they're an excellent way to learn. So why are we not tapping into the fact that games are so engaging and fun, and let's take advantage of that and let's use it for good purposes, education and training. So my work began about 4 or 5 years ago when I was approached by a community health nurse. And they have a problem with community health nursing with respect to many of the students. It's very hard to get a practical placement where they're in the environment, actually in the community, talking to drug users, for example, prostitutes, or whatever the case may be, because that affects the health of the community. And they approached me about developing a virtual simulation exactly for that purpose, to help community health nurses train when they can't go out and play out in the actual community. They can train on the computer in a virtual environment. And that really started this whole thing on serious gaming for me. And instead of creating just a virtual simulation, we started fun, making it engaging. And since then, there's been a number of other projects that have, many other serious gaming-related projects, including the one that I talked about earlier today with my colleagues, Dr. Adam Dubrowski, Dr. Fodmosa, and Dr. Saida Cristancho, here formerly from the UPB, which is looking at cardiac surgery, and in particular the OPCAB procedure. They have a physical simulator, and what we're trying to do is incorporate the virtual component. So now you have physical and virtual training in the virtual domain and in the physical domain.
Okay. What is the impact in the biomedical environment of this project?
Well, just in general, serious gaming, as I sort of alluded to earlier, it presents a fun and engaging way to train. And with respect to, well, if not directly biomedical, but just surgery and medicine in general, it presents another avenue, another training tool that we have at our disposal. So now instead of, well, first of all, it's very engaging and it's very fun, and hopefully it motivates students to want to learn. But second of all, we have these very, if you look at medical simulation labs, they're very expensive to build, to construct, and they're very expensive to maintain. So now students coming into those labs are at times very ill-prepared. They're not well prepared. And these, they can make mistakes with the equipment and what have you, which becomes very expensive. So if we can actually prepare the students to be better, or better prepare the students before they enter the lab, and all of a sudden their time in the lab could be very, make the most use of the limited time they have in the lab. So that's one of the uses of serious gaming. It could be, to better prepare students for these, very rich and expensive simulation labs that we have.
Yes, thank you. What do you expect from the symposium? Which are your expectations about the people, the places, and the other guests?
Sure. So the symposium itself, I mean, what I get out of this symposium and every other symposium that I attend to or conference, I like to disseminate my work. And by that I mean I like to let people know about the work that I do and the work that I do with my colleagues, obviously, because this is not just my work. I work in a big group. So I do like to get my work out there, and the hopes for that is that I interest other people in my work, for one thing, and that can lead to future collaborations and future projects and building upon the work that I do. Second of all, in addition to disseminating my work, I also like to hear what others are doing. And actually, I've been very pleasantly surprised with the interest in serious gaming here in Colombia and in Bucaramanga in particular, at the UPB, and from just by talking to all the students here at the symposium, and even with the medical folks, the surgeons and the folks that came from the FCV. There seems to be a genuine interest and a real strive to taking state-of-the-art technology, gaming technology, and doing good things with it. Applying it to training and applying it to learning. And I was quite surprised to see or to hear about. I talked to a couple of guests at the symposium who actually started, who have for a number of years now, I think 4 years. They have a serious gaming company here in Bucaramanga. So I was really happy to see that, and I'm really happy with the emphasis of that here.
Last but not least, how do you think will be the development of biomedical in Colombia?
Well, again, going back to the previous answer that I gave you, it seems like there's a real drive and a real push, just from what I'm seeing here in Bucaramanga, and also from the other talks from some of the guest speakers in Bogota, for example. So I'm sure it's throughout Colombia. There's a real a drive and a real motivation to be state of the art and to incorporate state of the art technologies, learning and education, but also in pursuing those technologies, because it really is a big business, and I think there's a drive. It could be seen to boost the economy and what have you. So I'm really pleased with that, and I think that's really going in the right direction.
That's all, Doctor. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great day.
It's my pleasure. Thank you. Gracias. Is that it?